Hi everyone, welcome to the Virtual Cafe. I'm your host Segilola Salami, and this is the Segilola Salami show. As always, I seem to have this unending, cough today, cough tomorrow, sore throat today, sore throat tomorrow. It's this blooming, English weather that we're having, and my little girl, she goes to nursery, picks up germs, and then it comes back, because I'm sure it was like 2 weeks ago I was having the same conversation about my throat going, and it's like 2 weeks later, I'm having exactly the same thing. So yes, I'm gonna try as much as possible not to talk too much today. But anyways, hope you guys are good. And as it's International Day of the Girl, I've got my daughter here with me, because she's got to run the cafe. It's been a while since she's served anyone and gotten drinks for them. So you will hear her, and she's the one who's going to take everybody's orders today. So while she's looking at apples on TV, who have I got here? Who's going to place the first order?
You have Jaime Mac. I'm the writer producer of a web series called Going Dark. It's about backstage in live theater and the chaos that ensues.
Fabulous. And what would you like to have today, Jamie?
I'm a very simple woman, and I think I will just have a hot coffee.
Okay, hot coffee doesn't sound too bad. That's quite simple. And how would you like your coffee?
Just as much cream as you could give me.
Okay, that's fine. Anything else with your coffee?
No, that's fine. That's quite enough.
Okay, perfect. So I'm going to put the little human to some work. You know what? I feel like she's gotten off easy. She's not done any work in this virtual cafe for a long time. So little human, Auntie Jamie would like some coffee with lots of cream and nothing else. So while she's getting that, wait, I'm not sure what's happening with my mic. Sorry. Who have I got here next, please?
You have you have Dr. Marilyn Porter here in Atlanta, Georgia. I am the CEO and founder of SVG Enterprises, which stands for Scatterbrain Genius Enterprises, and also SVG Media Group. I am also the founder and pastor of the Pink Pulpit International Crusade, a ministry that is designed to spread the love of Christ all over the world. And I am excited to be in the cafe today. I look forward to having the little human serve me.
Hello there. Well, my little girl's saying hello. You're going to say hello again, darling.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
How are you?
How are you?
I'm phenomenal.
Cool, phenomenal woman on International Women's Day. Oh, no, not international. On International Girls' Day today. And my little girl, she's ready to take your order. So, what would you like to have today, Marilyn?
I would love to have a chai tea.
A what?
Chai. Some
Thai.
chai.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right, darling. Stop sucking on my jaw. Are you gonna go and get the lady her tea? Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, good girl. So she's going to go get your drink. So tell me a bit about yourself, Marilyn.
I am I am really just a woman on a mission to break generational cycles. Everything that I do is truly centered around helping other women, primarily women. I'm not opposed to men, but my mission in the world is to help women come to know their better selves. And the way that I do that is through building platforms where they can come and speak, where they can write books, where they can show up in my magazine, where they can be guests on my radio show and share their stories. I have, as today, I believe I have about 5 collaborations where I have brought women together in anthologies and just let them tell their story for the purposes of healing and restoration. And I absolutely love music. I am a music head. Like I wake up listening to music. When I'm driving, I'm listening to music. When I'm going to bed, I'm listening to music. So I was really excited when Jamie said that she had recently DJ'd. I was like, oh, wow, that's exciting because I love music.
That's fabulous, right? So it was only yesterday. I was on Facebook and I saw something and I just clicked play, right? And like how they put background music and Busta Rhymes, started spitting out these things, doing his thing. And you would not believe what my little girl did, right? She literally went down on the floor and started breakdancing. And I'm like, I don't break dance, she's never seen anyone break dance, and she's a natural break dancer. So yes, we've got someone else who loves music from the womb, and she's not in my genre because I like R&B and soul and those kind of like more serene songs, whereas she was literally, right, it was so funny. I had to take a video of it, but I'm not going to put it on Facebook. But she was there, right, and she was literally trying to do where you go on your hand and you're literally trying to do tricks with your leg, and this 2-year-old who's I'm like, whoa, where did you get that from? So yes, music is good. What did they say? Who was it that said, if music is the food of love, play on? I think someone said that. Someone wise said, I can't remember.
Music is it's definitely it soothes the soul. And at some point in my life, maybe in a few years, I think I'll actually probably go in the studio and create some music of my own.
Do it.
Yes, you should. That sounds amazing.
Yes.
That really does sound amazing. But Jamie, did you say what it was that you did? Because I can't remember now.
I do a lot of things. I freelance in theater in the technical world. I freelance writing. As Marilyn said, I moonlighted as a DJ a couple weeks ago for a friend's wedding. So I kind of do a little bit of anything and everything, which is both a really great job to have and also a very stressful job to have, because I sometimes don't know where my next gig is going to be. But it's I don't know, it's very fun. It gives me a lot of freedom and opportunity to just write and create and kind of do my own thing.
All right, okay. So what have you worked on any projects recently?
The other day, I do a lot of carpentry. So the other day I was building a set at a theater school in New York. It's very fun. I don't know, we were putting up these columns, these like pillars made out of wood, and it was a lot of work. It's exhausting.
No, but that sounds amazing though. Oh, damn, sounded like a frog. So that sounds amazing because there are not a lot of women that you will see in, handiwork, carpentry. And I definitely would not have imagined that you would, like, no offense, like it's not something that's very common to see women in carpentry. So how did you get into it?
I majored in theater in college, and they make you take like the stagecraft course where you learn to use tools. And then I moved to the city to do like kind of crew things, but not specifically building. But I found out that was a really great way to kind of make money, and it's become my bread and butter between all the other projects I have going on. So it's a good, like, I mean, it comes in waves, so I'll be really busy doing something with it for a couple weeks, and then I'll be kind of off doing my own thing, and that's what I kind of utilize that and just go create things when I have time off. And if it's slow, then I just make the most of it.
Wow, that is really awesome.
It is. I
have a question though, because I have a daughter who is a theater major here at Georgia State University. And one of the things that she is actually in a class right now, because when you're a theater major, they teach you everything. They teach you the makeup. It's not just about the acting. and they also teach you, you know, the set. And so she's actually, her class on Friday is a 4-hour class where they're teaching them how to build the set. So did you, did you just, I know you said you just kind of eased into it, but did you have any educational insight when it came to getting into like the whole theater world?
Yeah, it was, I also majored in theater, and it was, I did a class much like that. And it, yeah, I don't know, tell your daughter to focus and learn a lot, because it's a really good, especially if you're an actor or someone, it's a really great way to stay in the theater community and still be able to pay your rent and eat too.
Right.
Right. No, that sounds good. Now, Jamie, I was looking on your website. Sorry, I was looking on your website and I saw that you've got a web series. Tell me, how did you get into that?
So the web series Going Dark was this idea that I had kind of tossed around with some friends who also work in theater. And we came up with this like premise for the show and how like it would be such a great, because it's so chaotic sometimes, so it would be such a great thing for a show. So I wrote a pilot for an actual like 30-minute TV series, and that was really fun, and I really enjoyed it, and I did a little read through with some of my friends, and I didn't know where to take it or how to get it to go anywhere, but I really liked the idea. So I looked at my friends and I said, what if we adapt this and make it a web series instead, and then we can go make it and we will have all the say about it. So I kind of reworked the script and I made it into an 8-episode season. And then I did some crowdfunding for it to raise some money. And I asked, I know a lot of actors, so I asked some friends if they would want to be in it and hang out with me. And I don't know, I just kind of begged my friends to help me, and we secured a space and a location. And my friend Paul does sound, and he borrowed a microphone and I have a camera. So we all like met for a weekend and shot this web series.
Wow. That's phenomenal.
No, that sounds really, really amazing. So before I even let Marilyn get in and do interrogation, let me save my voice quickly. So I'm gonna shoot quick questions, just because I have baby brain, and sometimes by the time you finish one question, the other question has gone out ahead. So when you decided, so 8 episodes in a season, how long is each episode roughly? And you mentioned that you did some crowdfunding. How did you sort out your crowdfunding? Like, how did you promote the crowdfunding and make it sort of viable or interesting enough so that people would, fund your campaign? And you talked about, filming it over a weekend, and you had a phone. You had a camera. What type of camera did you use? Was it a phone camera or a DSLR or something else? Did you have costumes? Just tell us, give me like step by step. How did you get from an idea in your head to something that's now, a proper series that's on the web? And how have you been doing since you got to the end? And where do you see the future going? So I will save my voice now.
Sure. Let's see. I shot it on a DSLR because I had one. I think someone gifted it to me at some point, and it was collecting dust in my closet for a long time. And I said, hey, I have this. Why don't I use it? And then let's see, for costumes, my friends are so great and generous. And I said, I think for costumes, it could just be black. And I think maybe it's like the universe is where everyone's just kind of in the same black clothes all the time. And like of all the things within the canon of the world, like that bothered me the least. So I said, everyone will just be like maybe a change of a sweatshirt here and there, but everyone's always kind of in the same type of clothes. And then let's see, for crowdfunding, I did what did I do? Oh shoot, which one did I do? Can't remember which one.
Kickstarter, GoFundMe. There are so many of them.
I think I did a GoFundMe. Thank you. I did a GoFundMe, and I tried to make I made the description as entertaining to read as possible, and gave like examples of the type of silliness that would be on the show. And I added, I mean, my friends and I kind of work in that world all the time, so we have plenty of pictures that are both like really interesting and absurd to look at. So we put some pictures of different work calls that we had done where we were a part of it. And then I shared it every day on my Facebook, which they say don't do, but I did it. And then a bunch of my other friends shared it publicly too. So it kind of got out and spread a little more. And I don't know, we met, my goal for the funding was pretty low. It was around $400 because I was just trying to make it on the cheap and as easy as possible. So I think we got pretty close to our goal, and we were able to borrow a microphone that my friend found, and he knew how to use, and he edited sound for me. And and we did it all over a weekend. In another friend of mine had this really great conference room in his office, and it had posters of all these different plays and stuff all around it. So I asked if we could borrow their conference room for the weekend, and they were like, sure, why not? And I don't know, we just took over, and I don't know, it was a wild kind of crazy weekend.
So you actually created a whole web series with under 400. I want to make sure I'm hearing this, with under $400, and really just borrowing space and equipment and other people's talents, and you got it done.
Yeah.
Wow. Because that is something that I hear people talk about all the time, and I hear them always talking about like not having resources to do things. You just kind of muted all of their excuses with that description of how you got that done. And my question for you is more on the writing side, because I'm a writer, I'm an author, and I have several books that I would actually like to turn into documentaries. And one of my issues has been, you said you wrote, you do the actual writing. Can you tell me, like, from a technical writing sense, what's really the difference between how a book would play out and how you would break that down to turn it into a script for a documentary or for a show? Because did you write it like for a show, or were you just writing and then flipped it into a show?
I wrote it in a script format, and that's a really interesting question, because I wrote it from the get-go. It was always a script for TV, but I don't know how I would adapt a book for something for film, because I imagine it would kind of go the same way. Like I would go through and say, okay, this is the scene we're in, here's the people, here's what they're doing, and then create some dialogue off of it, or non-dialogue, I guess.
Right, because people actually do it all the time, the shack, and, people do it all the time, but I just have not been able to wrap my mind around how much from the book do you actually put in. People have to memorize these lines, so I've never been able to wrap my mind quite around how to take it from the book to the script.
I don't know. I think, honestly, I think the best way would just be to start and give it a shot and see. Give it to some colleagues maybe and see how it reads as a script or as a documentary piece. I don't really know how I would do that.
It's dependent on what the book or how the book reads and what you're hoping to achieve, from your book.
Right.
So if you wanted to turn it into a documentary, then it's going to be I think it would then be based on the perspective you want the documentary to be. Do you want it to be like a fiction, like a documentary in a fiction, or do you want to just be like a proper series? Because it would then, so they're very different variables. Like one of the guests that I've had several guests, come on the show, and one of them, the group of ladies, they're called And I Thought, and they've then done a reality TV series based on their lives, as authors, and going to events and things like that. And so what they've done is they didn't actually use the DSLR. They actually used a smartphone, because smartphones these days the technology is getting better and better and better. And so they use their smartphone to shoot their to shoot their reality TV series. So again, so it then depends on what point of view you want your documentary to come. So for instance, if you were writing, I'm trying to think, for nonfiction, again, it would be more from the point of view, maybe like a webinar, if that's what you wanted to do, or if you wanted to do reality TV. So I guess it would then, how you do it would then be dependent on what you were trying to achieve, because with everything has a purpose. So you say, what is the person who's listening to your show, what are they going to get out of it? And then this little human, what's the problem? Do you have something to say? Do you want to contribute? Do you want to ask the ladies a question? Okay, what question would you like to ask? Right, so she says she wants to ask you about Boogie. So what's your question about Boogie? Is Boogie yummy, ladies?
Wow.
So that's my 2-year-old daughter's question for you today. Is Boogie yummy? So that's basically why she's been having a lot of, meltdown. She wants to know, is Boogie yummy?
I would like to know, are you saying boogie, like BOOGI?
Yes, Boogie, from your nose, snoot.
Oh. I would say no to that question.
No,
Okay,
as well.
have you heard? Auntie Jamie said Boogie is not yummy. Okay, Auntie Marilyn, what do you say? What's your answer?
I'm gonna go with no as well.
Okay, so Auntie Marilyn has said Boogie is not yummy. So 2 people plus Mommy says the Boogie is not yummy. Is that all right? Okay, she says yes. Thank you very much. Okay, so as we were. Hello? Oh, my voice.
Oh, man. Kids.
Yes.
Can you hear me? Okay, right. So what was I saying? Yes, so Marilyn, I think it depends on the point of view that you want to show your documentary, and what you're hoping that the person would get out of it. And something that And I Thought ladies said when we discussed their reality TV series was that the first episode that they did, they mocked it up a lot. So it's to best answer your question is just for you to do it, and when you do it, then you will learn from it. So basically they mocked up the date, so they put their first episode out there just to see how they messed up, but then they learned from the things that they did from their first episode, and then worked on it so that the second and all the other subsequent episodes was much better,
Right.
in terms of the deliverables than the first one. So sometimes you might, and sometimes I feel like when you want to do something, it's quite difficult to just put it all in your head, because I always think of my brain cells like spaghetti, and it's all mushy and scattered. And sometimes when you're actually doing something, it's like taking each spaghetti and straighten them out. So sometimes you just have to get started, and once you get started, questions that you may have, you will find that the answers is just coming out through. Does that sound about right, Jamie?
Yeah. I definitely think my advice to anyone who's like, I don't know how to do this or how to make this happen, my advice every time is just start, just try. And then, you can ask for help later, or you can take a break and come back to it and see, oh, it needs X, Y, and Z. But my advice always for pretty much any project is just try and just see how it goes. And also, especially with documentaries, not everyone has to be a crazy person like me and do everything themselves. You can get help from a director who, especially with a documentary, would have a lot to say about like what they need and how it's shot.
Okay.
And yeah, I don't know. I think collaboration is always a great thing, especially like directors or like camera people. Even if you just meet someone for coffee and get their advice on how to format it, I think that would be helpful too.
Okay.
Jamie,
I like that. I like that idea. I like meetings and I like coffee. So I like that.
Yeah, Jamie, I'm quite interested though. On the weekend that you shot your series, how long did that take? You know, what did you encounter any problems?
Mommy. It went fairly smoothly. It was actually kind of unnervingly okay the way the whole shoot went. Because I was also directing it because I couldn't afford to hire anyone. So I slaved in the weeks up to it. I made a shot list and I said, here's like the camera angles I need for each thing, and I need a reaction from this person, and I need this. And I read a lot of film books leading up to it and tried to figure out how to do any of this. And when we started that morning, I looked at my friends who were also the actors and I said, you guys, I don't know what I'm doing right now. So just go with it and we'll figure it out. And if you have ideas, please tell me because I don't know what's happening. And they were so cool and so great and just went with it and worked really hard. And so we started on Saturday at 9 a.m. and we worked pretty much all day. We took breaks. We'd had plenty of coffee breaks and lunch breaks, and I bought everyone pizza. And we worked until around 6. This was in May, so the days were really long. And there were these big giant windows in this room, and we had to stop for 2 hours because I needed the dark. I needed it dark outside because one episode is at night. So we took this 2-hour break and just hung out for a while because we could have kept working and doing more other shows or other episodes, but we were just brain dead and exhausted. So we had a nice little siesta hour, and then we shot the night episode, and then we came back the next day and worked from 9 to maybe 3 or 4. And just, there were surprisingly not many issues because everyone was so gung-ho and really generous with their time and able to just, oh, here's a problem, we'll do this instead, it's fine. And it was kind of incredible how smooth it went, and I still can't believe that it happened so easily.
Amazing. Well, you have certainly empowered me this morning.
Oh, good.
You have certainly empowered me this morning because I think I've been kind of standing in my own way by trying to figure it out first instead of just taking the action and self-correcting as I go forward.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's a difference between like doing a web series and working for like HBO, but there's so much at your disposal, so many resources that there's no reason, if you have an idea for a project and if you have an idea of like something you want to try doing, there is no reason in 2017 that you can't do it.
Right.
And I think it's
exactly, and technology makes it really easy to do a lot of things, I think.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, we're in different parts of the world. I'm in London, you're in America. We're here in a virtual cafe having coffee and talking. I'm sure like 20, 30 years ago, that would have been impossible.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, absolutely. Because yeah, 30 years ago, let me think. 30 years ago, I don't even really we weren't really solid on even just cell phone technology. You know, the cell phone was like the size of a house phone, and we just had those yeah, those little beeper things.
Yeah.
So, but thank you because like, yeah, you have certainly empowered me. And it's an amazing thing for me because I spend most of my days empowering other people. So anytime I come across somebody who can actually empower me, I'm always grateful and excited.
Oh, good. Yeah.
So Jamie, I'm quite interested though. So what is the feedback, for your how many so each episode, how long is each of them? And what has been the feedback been so far?
Each episode is about 3 to 4 minutes. I tried to keep them short because I figured it would be easier to write and produce. And also, I think the younger generation has very low attention spans. So I tried to keep them short so people would be willing to watch them. The feedback has been good. We have not gotten as much traffic as I would have hoped, but again, like I didn't hire like a marketing company to do anything for me. I printed postcards and I have a Twitter account for the show. So that's something I'm still learning about and trying to figure out how to promote more and get people engaged enough to watch it and see it. But yeah, I don't know. We got written up in Broadway World, which was really nice of them. And I don't know. It's been a real learning experience in a lot of ways for me because I have no idea anything about marketing and PR. So I don't know.
Well, I'm definitely I'm going to go watch it myself and definitely going to tell my daughter to go watch it because like I said, she's actually just gotten cast in a web series here in Atlanta. So I don't know how that's going to work out, but I'm definitely going to tell her she needs to come check out your web series.
Oh, thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, I guess from a marketing point of view, it's no different, to any top, sort of marketing, because, there's skills that you can't learn, from one, and the skills there are transferable to anything, So, Marilyn, your books, how do you promote them? Maybe, Jamie and I can learn something from you in terms of marketing and promoting and, just getting more people to, be aware. Because I guess with, online things, the barrier to entry is quite little because it's literally all somebody has to do is click play. There are no charges, no restrictions. It's not like TV, where you have to wait a certain time or be at home. Those sort of, barriers, have been removed with, play on demand. So how have you been marketing your books that maybe, we could pick up an idea or two from you?
Marketing for me, especially social media marketing, because marketing and then social media marketing, those are really like two different arenas. But social media marketing for me has always been like a breeze. It's the absolute easiest thing for me to do. And I didn't realize it until maybe a few months ago that people in my circle, people who follow me, people who pay attention to me actually consider me like a social media marketing guru. But I don't consider myself a guru. I just know how to, I know what gets people's attention, right? And so I just learned, I'm going to give you an example. Maybe 5 years ago, I started the Facebook page Motivationally Me. I started that page maybe longer, maybe 6 or 7 years ago, but I started that page on a Friday. And I started it with a post that I knew would cause controversy. So I started the page with a post and it had a spiritual connotation to it, but I started the post and the post was a scripture, but the scripture was nestled next to a woman that had on a halter top, a mini skirt, fishnet stockings, and stilettos. By Monday morning, we're talking from scratch. I started on Friday. By Monday morning, I had 8,000 followers because of that one.
Wow.
8,000 followers because of that one post.
Wow.
2 million people viewed that one post, and it just kept getting shared and shared and shared. And so from that, it was obvious, and this was my first time ever dealing with Facebook or any social media, but from that one post, it was obvious to me that people like to, on Facebook, on social media, they like things that generate conversation. So when I'm promoting anything, when I'm promoting a speaking event, when I'm promoting a coaching course, when I'm promoting a book, when I'm promoting anything, I always try to make sure that maybe 80% of my followers are just going to eat it up, but that 20%, they're going to share it, they're going to comment on it because they disagree with it. And so there's this I'm saying balance. I know 80-20 is not balanced, but there's kind of like this dance that you have to do to make sure you're catering to, you know, your audience, but it has to be all of your audience. It has to be the people who are following you, because they almost kind of really don't like what you do. It's like, oh my God, it's so horrible, but I can't look away. So I try. You know, so I make sure that in all of my posts, especially when I'm trying to sell something, I make sure that there's something in there that 20% is going to stir them up. So they're going to say, hey, they're going to send it to all their friends and say, hey, what do you think about this? And chances are, at least I'm going to say 15% of the people that they're inviting to dislike it is going to like it. And so I get to add those 15% now to my 80% that already likes it. So I like to keep a little bit of a hornet's nest stirred up when it comes to marketing, because people don't realize it, but the people that dislike your stuff actually draw people to it that will like it. So I don't know if that makes sense, but that is like,
it does. It does. But can I ask you a quick question?
Yes.
Hello. So okay, now, so you said when you created your Facebook page and you put that post, and you said you put that on a Friday, and by Monday you had over 8,000, was it views or comments, something like that?
No. I had 8,000 people had followed the page. I had 8,000 likes. 8,000 people had liked my page.
Okay, cool. Quick question now. So when you did it, when you first wrote the page, did you invite anyone? Did you tag anyone? Did you invite anyone from your friends for them to see it? Did you do anything at all whatsoever? Or did you just put the post and not tell anyone in your personal Facebook page profile?
Yeah, I definitely invited people that I knew, because now I didn't have a community of my own. I didn't have a tribe or a following of my own, because this was literally, I didn't even really know what Facebook was. I went on Facebook because I was in a sociology class in school, and Facebook was the assignment.
Okay.
So I didn't even go on Facebook to build. So everything that I'm doing right now is a result of building that page. So I did invite people that I knew, like, okay, I went to school with, so-and-so, let me invite them. So maybe 20 people, I might have invited 20 people, but I used a photo that was already tagged to people that have followers. So the photo,
okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. So the photo that I used, there's a group of graphic designers. So I went to their page and used one of their pictures, and so it may have already had, let's say, 250 people tagged to it. It wasn't this exuberant number. It was maybe 250 people, but it was enough that it began to draw people to my page.
Right. So you had a catalyst, basically, not that it was completely from scratch.
Right. Well, the page was from scratch, but that particular post,
it had a catalyst. It had a catalyst. Because I do know that Facebook, that's how they make their millions, because they don't like, if you just write something and put it, assume you have like I think on my Facebook page, I've got 2 Facebook pages, and one of them I've got about 400 and something people. And when I just put a post, organically without doing any active promotion, any active sharing, just organically, you might have 1 or 2 views just for writing the post. They don't automatically just put it in the feed of everybody that is a follower to your to your page, so you're not going to automatically be seen by. So the number of followers you have does not equate to the number of views that your post get. So it needs a little bit of work for you to get to for it to be seen by more people, and that's basically where your catalyst has come from. Okay, and then you used controversy. So you needed a catalyst, and then you used controversy, and that was like putting kerosene or petrol on a flame, and then it just went boom.
And it just went boom. Now I actually just shut that page down. So I unpublished it, because now with what I know now, the task for me now is to see if I can duplicate that just with my knowledge, just with my own skills.
Okay.
Wow.
And have you been able to duplicate it?
Well, I haven't started, and I haven't come up with what I actually want to. I don't want to do it with my existing company. And the reason that I don't want to do it is because I'm actually really okay with just the people who come to me for services, for coaching, for publishing, for writing articles. I'm actually okay with just those followers on the pages that I have now. So when I create this new Facebook page, it will be for the purpose of seeing what my global reach can be outside of my community. So I don't want to use my business pages that I have now, because what I do is it's very niche down. Like, I don't need millions of followers. Cause I can't coach 1 million people. So I don't need 1 million followers on my coaching page. I can't publish 1 million books. So I don't need that many followers on my publishing page. I keep that kind of very intimate, and that works for me. So I'm also on Twitter, but this is what I do on Twitter. When I'm getting ready to promote a book, I just put one word that has to do with the book. Literally every day for like 8 weeks, I will just go on Twitter. Let's say the topic of the book is love. I will literally go on Twitter and for 8 weeks, just type that one word, love, period. And people start following me. So once I get their attention, then I start promoting the book.
Wow.
That sounds quite interesting. And so do people ever ask, so when you put love, do people ever ask you about it, or do you put the link to the book, or what exactly do you do? Do you put any hashtags, or do you just type in love and that's it?
Love, period. And that is enough to generate, to get the wheels turning, like, okay, why does she keep putting this? Like, why? So people, they'll start sending me direct messages. Once I start getting direct messages, I know I have their attention, right? So then I'll start actually talking about the book, because now I know y'all are watching.
Wow, that's a really great idea.
So I don't believe in wasting. Like, I don't waste social media energy. I have spent a lot of years really narrowing it down to what do the people pay attention to. And I have quite a few clients who tell me, like, I know that you're not a social media coach, or you don't do social media managing, but when we work with you, our social media goes crazy. So like, why don't you do something to just teach this? Well, I don't have a desire to just teach this. I don't have a desire. This is kind of like my own personal challenge, me, Marilyn, against social media. So I don't have a desire to teach it, but I do share the information with my clients and with my audiences.
That's great.
No, that's quite amazing. So Jamie, now, just going from what Marilyn has said, how would you create a bit of controversy when promoting your series, to get more viewers?
I don't know. I don't know what controversy.
Tell me, what's your series about? I think we never asked that from the beginning.
It's about like the backstage crew in a theater, and just like the silliness and the antics that go on backstage. And I think I don't know what controversy or what scandal we could create.
Marilyn, what do you think?
I think that, excuse me, I think that just by the nature of what you're already doing, like I think you may be already accomplishing that part, because you mentioned earlier on that you guys have a lot of pictures and things of quote, I don't know if you use the word vulgar or hideous things to catch people's attention. When you were making your GoFundMe page, those are the kind of things that I would use, because this is the thing. People expect peace and love and harmony and excuse me, they don't expect me, based on who they know me to be, to post something on social media that is a depiction of a prostitute. They don't expect that from me. So it kind of, you know, it stirs up the, well, she's this, and can you believe she did this, and can you believe she said that? So a lot of what is controversial for me is just based on who my audience, who they expect me to show up as. And if I deviate from that just a little bit, that's enough to get them started. But it sounds like, based on what Jamie's show is about, they're kind of already pushing the envelope a little bit, so to speak.
Yeah. I mean, we have one of our episodes is about someone slips Viagra into someone else's Gatorade. So I guess like maybe that's a controversial situation. I guess I could push a little more.
Yeah, push a little more, because that really is, that's a joke, and it's taken as a joke. But push it. I mean, think of something that would make you, if you were watching the show and you saw this, it would kind of make you do a double take. Like, did they really do that? Did they really say that? So think of what would make you kind of turn away and look back again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, okay, well, I guess, you know, the two of you, you know, you see, but that's the thing though about collaborations and, you know, and talking to people, because everybody has different skills that they could bring, you know, to a collaboration and, you know, a partnership, you know, because, you know, Jamie, you've done it. And then, you know, Marilyn is like, oh my God, you know, you've inspired me. But then Marilyn has also inspired me because, you know, she knows a bit about marketing. And so sometimes, you know, working in a partnership can actually be great if the two people are actually quite hardworking and invested, because then you've got, you know, different skills that you can bring into it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Collaboration is like king. Collaboration is king, you know, but like you said, when everybody comes to the table and is willing to give, you know, the truth, their truth, you know what I'm saying? Not to come to the table and not be willing to say, hey, I'm telling you, this really works. You know what I mean? As opposed to, well, I'm just going to give them this little piece because I don't want them to be as successful as me. So so just like Jamie, she's put it all out there. I'm telling you guys like the real truth. This is how I do it. So when everybody comes to the table and is willing to give like the absolute truth of what they do and who they are, collaboration takes you to the Oscar stage and to the Grammy stage and to, you know, like that's the beauty of collaboration in any arena.
Wow.
Perfect. So let's say, you know, the both of you, you know, you've met up, you know, and you think, you know what, Jamie has done, you know, this web series, you know, she's learned a lot of things, you know, from it. And, you know, Marilyn, you know a little bit more about, you know, marketing. And you're like, you know what, Jamie, well, let's partner up. Let's do, you know, another web series on the documentaries of one of my books or one of Jamie's books. And let's get the ball rolling, right? So the two of you, you've sat down. Right, so tell me 10 things that you will do. No, actually, I think 10 things is quite simple. So this is for the both of you, and you're gonna sort of do is that, Jamie, you're going to tell me 10 things that you're going to do, and Marilyn, you're going to tell me 10 things that you're going to do, just so that I can learn from the both of you what you would do. So Jamie, you're going to tell me based on your experience from what you've learned, and then Marilyn, you're going to tell me based on your experience, the marketing side. So let's say you guys have this amazing idea for a show that you want to do as a web series. So Jamie, you've got experience with crowdfunding, getting people together, actually doing the shooting, and then Marilyn, you're gonna do the pre stuff, and then Marilyn's going to do the post stuff. So Jamie, start off 10 things from you that you would do if you were starting a new one, and then Marilyn, you'll tell me 10 things as well.
Let's see. Number one, crowdfund for more money and crowdfund harder. Number two, hire a director who is better than me. Number three, let's see, budget enough to pay actors and crew. Number four, let's see. Number four, simplify without losing what is important about it. Number five, was that number five? Number six, I lost count. Let's see, what else? Use a better editing program. Number seven, hire an actual crew and not just beg your friends to do it. Number eight, let's see, find someone like Marilyn who is better at marketing and social media to take over that aspect. Number nine, budget a lot more for social media and for marketing. And number 10, have more fun.
Fabulous. Now, see, before we even go to Marilyn, there seems to be the key thing in everything that you've said has come down to money, and that's in your that's going to become in your crowdfunding stage. So how do you then decide how much you would like to raise? How do you make sure that you get you meet your target or as close to your target, or better still you exceed your target? And when you were talking about editing equipment, which one did you use? What editing equipment did you use? Or what editing software did you use? And what was it that you liked about it? What didn't you like about it? And what one would you use next time, which is quote unquote a better one? And what are the advantages and disadvantages of those ones, if you do know?
Let's see. So for crowdfunding, I would, and I think this is where having a social media partnership would come in very handy, because I think there's more pushing and more just getting the word out about it initially, which I should have been better at this time around, and I was learning literally every day, so I didn't know. But I think, I don't know, I think it depends on what the project would be as to how much we need, because it could be that we need a PA and a camera person and that's it. It could be that we need a crew of 10. It depends on what we need and what the project is and what the scope we're looking for is. Because with Going Dark, especially because we barely had any money, my philosophy was less is more. Like, the less we need, the less we can do with. It'll be better. The less we have to deal with, it's easier. As far as editing equipment, I used iMovie because I had it and it was free, and I'm pretty good at it. I'm pretty quick with it. It's not a great program though. There are much better ones. And what I would use is Final Cut, just because it's got such a good reputation, and that's what a lot of more professional people use.
Fabulous, fabulous. That sounds amazing. So over to you, Marilyn. So, Jamie has said, at the beginning when they're doing the crowdfunding side, that's where you're going to come in. So you're going to be there at the pre stage and then the post stage. So how would you do it?
The first thing that I would do is I would get a brand strategist involved so that we could solidify the authenticity of the brand, making sure that the words and the actions match. That's number one, so that you don't confuse your audience, and the people that are looking for what you have to offer, they know how to find you. So that's the first thing that I would do. I would definitely bring in a social media manager as well, because social media it's really busy work, but it's necessary work. And so I would bring in a social media manager actually to sit with the brand strategist, and so to come up with a plan for how the social media is going to flow, to make sure that this particular brand is showing up in the places where it needs to show up. And that would mean incorporating Facebook ads. So that would be my number 3, is incorporating Facebook ads. My number 4 would be custom social media framing. So I would get a graphic designer to actually, again, tap in and communicate with the brand strategist to come up with custom frames for Facebook, for Twitter, for Instagram, for LinkedIn, to customize them so that nobody else quite has that same thing, so that people get used to, when they see that, they know that it's for this web series. They know they don't even have to see words. They can just see that and they know exactly what it's for. I would have cast members use Twitter and Instagram video, short, snippy, live videos. People love reality. They love anything that's reality. That's why reality TV is so strong. And so short snippets of the people who are actually in the series on Twitter. On Twitter and Instagram. Instagram is the best. On Twitter and Instagram, throughout the day, maybe 4 or 5 times a day, just little 30-second snippets. I would do press releases that would be video press releases. I would engage some writers. I would engage some contributors from the Huffington Post and whatever other magazines that we have already sat down and decided these are the group of people that we're targeting. So whether it would be writing a press release on Huffington Post, or on some of the other Red Book Online, or whatever, some of the online platforms, because it's an online platform. So you definitely want to engage people in every way via something that can just technically just pop up. If they're on Amazon, it can just pop up. If they're anywhere they are, that there's the potential for this thing to just pop up and engage them. I would definitely be purchasing books, and a lot of people miss that step. I would definitely be purchasing books that would be giving me more insight into what the more up-to-date are in via, the marketing. What else can I do? Like, what's the newest thing that's out? And these books come out on the regular. And my number 10 is anybody who would be engaged in the campaign would have to have professional headshots where what everyone is wearing in their pictures coincides with whatever the brand wants to reflect.
Oh, that's a neat idea.
That's my 10.
Wow.
Just sitting on the floor now, like, wow. How did I have these amazing women on my show today? I just need to keep stressing it's International Day of the Girl, or what is it called? International Day of the Girl. And I'm just literally being blown over by these amazing women. And see, right, my sore throat is going, because when you're having phenomenal conversation, right, it's like the drums in your throat be like, you know what, right? We can't be hampering this woman's progress today. She needs to communicate properly.
Amen.
Man.
Right. I'm just like, seriously, I'm just blown on the floor. I'm literally sitting on the floor because I don't even know what to say, because you guys are just phenomenal.
Wow, I'm kind of floored too.
Awesome hour.
Yeah.
Sorry, what did you say, Jamie?
I'm also like floored right now because everything that Marilyn was just saying about social media and branding and strategy, like I mean, I said I have no experience, but I have no experience doing that. And that's that's just like really great. That's so great. That was so great to hear. And thank you so much for sharing that with me.
My pleasure.
And if you guys do collaborate in the future, please give me a shout out and say, we met on the Segilola Salami show.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm truly blown away. And I think I'm going to sit back later and listen to all of the things that you've said again, because yeah, you guys are just really amazing, because I'm hoping that at some point next year, I would start a TV network. And, it's just, because I know that, it was Wilnona and JD. They tend to come to my show quite a lot. They're part of the And I Thought ladies. And it was quite amazing, when they said that, they shoot their series, using their smartphone. And I'm thinking, if they can shoot their series with their smartphone, anyone can do it. And then, I've got a DSLR, lying somewhere. And then you said you've used your DSLR, to shoot your series. So, the sky's the limit, I think. There are no more limitations.
Yeah, totally.
Absolutely. I think we just proved that today.
Definitely. But, I think I'm going to go get a hot drink now, so I'm going to have to kick you guys out.
Okay.
I know. That's fine. Take care of yourself. Take care of yourself, my dear.
But before I kick you guys out, I'm not completely that mean. I'm not that mean. If people want to connect with you, Jamie, you can go first because J comes before M. I try to be fair. How can they, do you have what's your website called? What's your series called again? How do people connect with you? Are you on Twitter? What's your Twitter handle? You know the drill.
My web series is at youtube.com/goingdarkwebseries. And my Twitter is at JAAAIMERS, Jamers. I'm also at JaimeMac.com, JAIMEMAC.com.
Fabulous. And how about you, Marilyn?
I am most often on social media. That's where you can normally find me, and you can just, Dr. Marilyn E. Porter, or my business page is the Scatterbrain Genius Coach. My website is www.thescatterbrainedgenius, and my Twitter handle is the SBG Coach.
Fabulous. Well, it's been an amazing pleasure having you both on the show. And I hope that when you guys go on to do amazing things in the future, you'll come back and tell us how you've been, getting on.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yes, I definitely. It has been a blessing to me. Like I said, it's not normal for it. I don't normally get empowered. I'm normally doing the empowering, but this has empowered me. I'm like excited. I'm like, okay, yeah.
That's great. Now let me see if I can get a little human to say bye to everyone. Are you gonna say bye? Come say bye. She's gone shy now. Come say bye. Come say bye, aunties, and bye everyone. Oh yeah, did you know? Okay, right. Okay, you're gonna say bye, aunties.
Bye, aunties.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, until next time, everyone. It's been the Segilola Salami show, and I hope to see you all again next week. And fingers crossed, my throat will be better next week. I hope, I say, because it seems like we'll be doing this dance every week for the last God knows how long. But then until next week, it's the Segilola Salami show. Bye now.